why Donald Trump suddenly wants Greenland. Donald Trump first openly floated the idea of purchasing Greenland from Denmark in August 2019. While the notion drew laughter and ridicule in many quarters, Denmark's Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen even called it absurd. Trump's interest was far more serious and calculated than it first appeared.
Greenland is a wonderful place. We need it for international security.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. We need Greenland for national security and even international security, and we're working with everybody involved to try and get it. But we need it really for international world security, and I think we're going to get it. One way or the other, we're going to get it.
In fact, it was part of a long-standing pattern of American interest in the world's largest island, going back over 150 years. Donald Trump wasn't the first US president to consider acquiring Greenland. In 1867, President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward, fresh from securing the Alaska Purchase, also explored acquiring Greenland from Denmark. The United States had just expanded its territory, and Greenland was viewed as another valuable addition. Fast forward to 1946, in the aftermath of World War II and the rise of the Cold War, President Harry Truman made a formal offer to buy Greenland for $100 million in gold. The motivation was clear. Greenland was seen as a key military and surveillance outpost for the looming threat from the Soviet Union. Trump's interest, though made in 2019, fits within this historical pattern. Unlike past leaders, Trump has not ruled out even military options to acquire the island, raising eyebrows and concerns among international observers. Before diving deeper into why Trump wants Greenland, it's essential to understand what makes Greenland so unique and strategically important. Greenland is the world's largest island that's not a continent, covering over 2.1 million square kilometers, making it roughly a third the size of the continental United States. Despite its massive landmass, it has an extremely small population, around 56,000 people as of 2025. The vast majority of Greenlanders live along the ice-free coast, particularly in the southwest, where the capital city of Nuuk is located. The terrain is dominated by vast ice sheets, glaciers, and rugged mountain ranges, with only a small fraction of the land being habitable or arable. Greenland is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. Greenland governs its internal affairs through its own parliament and government, while Denmark retains responsibility for foreign policy, defence, and monetary policy. Greenlanders are Danish citizens and receive substantial economic support from Copenhagen in the form of an annual block grant of approximately 3.9 billion Danish kroner, around 520 million euros or $560 million. This grant accounts for about one-third of Greenland's total public budget, making the territory heavily dependent on Danish financial assistance to fund core services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. While this support underpins stability, it also underscores the limitations of Greenland's domestic economy, which is largely reliant on fishing and has a small tax base. However, Greenland has increasingly asserted its independence in recent years, especially by pursuing new opportunities in mining, tourism, and infrastructure development, with the long-term goal of reducing its dependence on Danish subsidies and moving toward greater economic self-sufficiency. So the million-dollar question is, why does Donald Trump want Greenland? To the casual observer, Greenland might seem like a frozen wasteland, but for geopolitical strategists, it's a golden ticket to influence the future of the Arctic and the global power balance. Greenland's location is of extraordinary strategic importance. It sits between North America and Europe, just northeast of Canada and near the Arctic Circle. The US already has a military presence on the island, Fuel Air Base, established during World War II and still active today. This base plays a crucial role in missile warning systems, space surveillance, and satellite tracking. Arctic ice in the region is currently receding. Therefore, previously inaccessible sea routes are now opening up. These northern sea routes could revolutionize global trade, offering faster shipping between Asia and Europe. Whoever controls these routes controls future maritime trade and military movement in the Arctic. Trump's administration saw Greenland as a potential US outpost to monitor and dominate this emerging corridor. Furthermore, Greenland is a front line for observing and responding to Russian and Chinese activity in the Arctic. Both nations have increased their Arctic ambitions in recent years. Russia has developed icebreaker fleets and Arctic military bases, while China has declared itself a near-Arctic state and has invested in Arctic infrastructure. Trump's logic is clear. US control of Greenland would serve as a powerful counterbalance. In an era where great power competition is making a fierce comeback, Greenland represents not just a location location, but a strategic point for broader dominance in the Arctic theatre. Greenland is believed to have immense untapped reserves of critical minerals. Among these are rare earth elements, uranium, graphite, zinc, gold, lithium. These resources are essential for the production of green technologies like electric vehicle batteries, solar panels, and wind turbines. They're also crucial in manufacturing advanced electronics and military technology. Currently, the US relies heavily on China for rare earth elements, creating a major national security vulnerability. By gaining access to Greenland's mineral wealth, the US could significantly reduce its dependence on Chinese supply chains. In addition to minerals, there is also speculation about oil and gas reserves under Greenland's seabed. While exploration remains limited due to environmental restrictions and ice coverage, future energy crises may make these resources more appealing. Ironically, climate change, while catastrophic globally, is unlocking new possibilities in Greenland. Melting glaciers are exposing land that was once buried under thick ice, making mineral extraction more feasible. Additionally, retreating ice opens up new land and sea access, making the island more attractive for economic development and investment. With Arctic ice melting at record rates, previously frozen areas are now being explored for oil and gas. While environmental concerns remain, the potential profit is enormous. Trump, a businessman at heart, likely saw the future value of Greenland increasing as the Arctic thawed, making an early acquisition highly desirable. Greenland is also increasingly being viewed as a future hub for Arctic research stations, satellite tracking, and climate monitoring. Controlling Greenland would mean controlling the Arctic conversation and, to an extent, the narrative around climate science and security. Now the question is, could the US actually buy Greenland? Despite all of the above motivations, the biggest roadblock to any acquisition is legal and political reality. Greenland is not for sale. That's the clear position of both Denmark and Greenland's own government. Greenland's Prime Minister at the time, Kim Kielsen, along with Denmark's leadership, strongly rejected any notion of selling the island. Greenland is considered an integral part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and its autonomous government has made strides towards further independence, not integration into another country. A spokesman for the Danish government responded to Trump's interest with firm dismissal, stating, "Greenland is not for sale. Greenland is not Danish. Greenland belongs to Greenland."
Dear President Trump, listen very carefully. Greenland have been part of the Danish kingdom for 800 years. It's an integrated part of our country. It is not for sale. Let me put it in words you might understand. Mr. Trump, off.
Furthermore, Greenlandic politicians reacted with a mix of amusement and offence. Some viewed Trump's proposal as outdated colonial thinking, while others feared it would undermine their progress towards self-determination. Trump has, on multiple occasions, refused to rule out military options related to Greenland. While it's unclear how seriously these comments were meant, they highlight the growing militarization of Arctic discussions. The US has significantly increased its Arctic presence in recent years. Joint military exercises with NATO allies expanded Arctic strategies from the Department of Defense, and increasing investments in ice-capable naval assets all point towards a serious strategic pivot northward. Trump's remarks may have been bombastic, but they echoed a broader American concern. Whoever controls the Arctic may control the future global order. Nevertheless, any forced attempt to claim Greenland would trigger severe backlash from allies, the international community, and Greenlanders themselves. It would be a geopolitical disaster, undoing decades of diplomacy. Thus, Trump's remarks are best interpreted as aggressive positioning rather than an imminent threat. Trump's sudden interest in Greenland wasn't just about geopolitics. It also served a domestic narrative. As a president known for thinking big and taking unconventional approaches, Trump's Greenland gambit reinforced his image as a deal maker. He even joked about building a Trump Tower in Greenland, complete with a photoshopped image he tweeted showing one of its signature golden buildings towering over the frozen landscape. The image was intended as humor, but it sparked serious global discussion. Moreover, Trump's focus on Greenland fit with his America First doctrine, minimizing foreign dependencies, maximizing American strategic strength, and outmaneuvering rivals like China and Russia. Donald Trump's interest in buying Greenland may have sounded outlandish to some, but it reveals a deeper strategic vision rooted in history, geopolitics, and resource security. From rare earth minerals to military positioning in the Arctic, Greenland represents a key piece in the 21st century global chessboard.